Welcome back, America. We have a very fine man with us, former acting United States Attorney General Matt Whitaker. Matt Whitaker, I want to talk to you quickly about Devon Archer, about Joe Biden, the information that has come up from the release of the committee's investigation and interview of Devon Archer in relation to the Foreign Agents Registration Act. Number one, the Foreign Agents Registration Act is one of the most ambiguous and broadest laws I've ever read. You can take a net and catch anybody you want. And yet for years they didn't catch anybody, they didn't pursue anybody until Mueller went after Paul Manafort. And now this law is being used. How is it possible, Matt Whitaker, that the United States Department of Justice comes up with a deal, as the judge in Wilmington noticed, and FARA, the issue here, the Foreign Agents Registration Act, communication with foreign governments, communications with foreign companies. You don't even have to exchange money, just give advice. But they did exchange money. He did give advice. How is it possible that Hunter Biden hasn't been charged with violating FARA the way they charged Manafort and the way they're charging other people, unless this is a complete sweetheart cover-up operation?
Well, yeah, I mean, Mark, this is something that has been like really the top of my mind as it relates to the Hunter Biden plea deal. And that is, you have a plea deal that one ignores the most serious crimes because they've now been time barred, the 14 and 15 tax years that we know Hunter Biden failed to pay millions in taxes. We know now that he was getting a blanket future immunity from future prosecutions. But at the same time, and this is what I think is the most interesting piece of this and the most disgusting at the same time, and that is that they said and continue to say that it was part of an ongoing investigation. So they were shielding themselves from Congress ever looking into this, because on the one hand, they were resolving all the claims, including future claims, as this plea agreement reads, this diversion agreement, and at the same time saying that it continued to be under investigation. And now that this judge saw exactly what was happening and poked a hole and it deflated quickly, we're finding out that that's exactly what had happened. And remember, Mark, our system is based on adversarial justice. You have a prosecutor and you have a defense. And in this case, there was no adversary because the government was doing exactly what the defendant wanted.
So the Department of Justice effectively is representing Joe Biden and his family.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden has his own lawyers representing Hunter Biden. But the information that's come out now, the testimony that Devon Archer gave makes it abundantly clear. It was abundantly clear with the laptop and witnesses involved in that and other business partners and so forth, that Joe Biden knew that his son was doing business with foreign countries and foreign governments. He had to know. There's just way too much interaction. There's way too much substantive information. So here, to me, is the $64,000, or now I'll say, given the lottery, $1.2 billion question. If Joe Biden was assisting his son just by taking phone calls, showing up at golfing events, having these people at the office, having dinner with them twice in Washington, D.C., is he not a co-conspirator in the violation of FARA by his son? It seems to me like it's an open and shut matter.
Yeah, you're right, Mark, because as you know, conspiracy laws only take you to one overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. And in this case,
just one.
FARA, just one overt act. And in this case, you had Joe Biden over 20 times, whether on the phone, and in two cases, he was sat down for dinner, it sounds like, or for a meeting or for coffee, but with foreign nationals. And remember, this is quintessential influence peddling. Devon Archer and Hunter Biden and their crew had no experience in anything except their relationship to Joe Biden, who was the vice president. And, we're learning more and more is coming out. But, I would continue to point that the Democrats clearly were trying to sweep this under the rug in the first impeachment because Donald Trump was asking exactly what was happening in the Ukraine. and is exactly what Joe Biden brags about firing the prosecutor who was investigating Burisma. This, to me, this is a prima facie case, Mark, and we're going to learn more and more as the days go by. And thank God that Congress is investigating this and getting to the bottom of it. But it's becoming clearer and clearer to me, to your point, that Joe Biden knew exactly what Hunter was doing, and quite frankly, appears to had been willing to do some work on his behalf.
They impeached Donald Trump that first time around to shut that investigation down, to keep that information quiet. It's now abundantly clear to me that's why they did what they did. But that said, and I want to continue after the break, the issue is Joe Biden. Joe Biden, 20 shell corporations, laundering money to get it to various members of his family. The phone calls, not one or two, and this is just with Devon Archer. God knows what other phone calls that they were involved in. He's had the 20 with Archer, but there could be 500 of them for all we know. The various meetings that Archer refers to and others refer to, Bobolinsky refers to. This is overwhelming information that indicts Joe Biden. So for the left that says Donald Trump is running in order to protect himself so he can pardon himself, let me suggest this. Joe Biden is running because he doesn't want to be indicted. A sitting president cannot be indicted. An ex-president can.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.